Hello everyone, GoldenNova here, coming in hot with another request from another of the Patreon's Quasar Commanders, and it turns out they're both on a bit of a theme. Machines! The last one, yugioh, focused on combining Xyz summoning with the flip mechanic, and while this one isn't necessarily an Xyz focused deck, it is trying to do something similar with tokens? Premiering in the May 2013 core set, Lords of the Tachyon Galaxy, Mecha Phantom Beasts are a group of airborne mechanical creatures that, well, they fly, that's for sure, and all the while they're aided by their phantasmal companions who run interference for them out in the field. And while it may not look it on the surface, many of them have been responsible for some of the most broken combos this game has ever seen. And now, you get a front row seat to all the action. So make sure to fasten your safety harnesses and return your trays to their upright position, and make sure to turn your phones to airplane mode. Duh, unless you're watching this on a phone, cause it's time to catch a flight with Mecha Phantom Beasts Explained. Today's episode is brought to you by my lovely patrons, as well as the wonderful people over at Dragon Shield. Get the sleeves as strong as dragon scales and save 5% on your order by using coupon code GoldenNova at checkout. So, what's the deal with Mecha Phantom Beasts? Well, they're a series of wind attribute machine monsters that are a mix of some kind of aircraft and an animal. They generate and benefit from the existence of Mecha Phantom Beast tokens. They have the same type and attribute, are level 3, and have 0 attack and defense. They don't do anything on their own, but each non-token Mecha Phantom Beast benefits from having them around in 2 ways. 1. All your Mecha Phantom Beast non-tuners increase in level equal to the level of all the Mecha Phantom Beast tokens you have on the board. And if you have any tokens in general, not just on theme ones, all of your non-token Mecha Phantom Beasts can be destroyed by battle or card effect. This means our tokens act as shields while boosting up our levels right through the roof, giving us access to high-ranked Xyz monsters without necessarily having to play high-leveled monsters. On a more individual level, the tokens are used as a kind of currency or resource, trading them in for powerful effects, so you have this kind of balancing act going on where you need to decide if it's better to keep the tokens around for protection or cash them in for value. It's actually pretty cool. So, without further ado, let's get started. Mecha Phantom Beast Warblerin is a level 1 tuner monster with 300 attack and defense, and if this card is sent to the graveyard for the synchro summon of a machine type monster, special summon a Mecha Phantom Beast token. Also, for the rest of the turn, you can't special summon other monsters except wind monsters. Also, Warblerin can tribute another Mecha Phantom Beast monster to increase this card's level by 1, and you can only use 1 effect of this card per turn and only once per turn. So while Mecha Phantom Beasts are known for some outrageous extra deck monsters, their synchros don't really register, which is why you don't see this one too often. It has a strange mix of effects that allow it to modulate its level in a more controlled fashion to help with synchro summoning, and gets you a token when you make a synchro using it, but the two are mutually exclusive, which I find very odd. I figured you'd want to use a level modulation to go into a synchro and then play off of that. I'm not sure if there's some secret design decision going on behind the scenes, and this restriction is somehow keeping at bay some abysmal ruling interaction from running rampant in the streets, but as it stands now, this card is just okay. Oh, but it also does a really good Kronk impression, you know, because it's Patrick Warblerin. Mecha Phantom Beast O-Line is a level 2 tuner monster with 600 attack and 1000 defense, and you can banish this card from your grave to, immediately after this effect resolves, normal summon a Mecha Phantom Beast monster from your hand. And if this card is sent to the grave, you can special summon a Mecha Phantom Beast token. Oh, so this makes a token in more situations, and can use both of its effects in one turn, huh? Heck, the additional normal summon doesn't even have a once per turn restriction on it. Oh, I guess this is why O-Line was on the ban list for a bit and Warblerin wasn't. That might seem very strange if you haven't seen this before, but trust me, this card goes off the rails immediately when paired with Crystron Halqifibrax, as it was arguably the best tuner to summon off of its effect, something we'll get into much later in the video. Because as it turns out, there's another Mecha Phantom Beast card involved in a busted combo. Who could have guessed? But with Hulk itself banned, O-Line became a bit more tame, so now any deck with a Foolish Burial can make a level 3 token at will. And of course, now we have access to arguably our best tuner and normal summon generator. It truly is miles ahead and above the competition. Mecha Phantom Beast Arrowsgwyn is a level 3 monster with 1600 attack and 400 defense, and once per turn you can banish a Mecha Phantom Beast monster from your grave, except copies of this card, to special summon a Mecha Phantom Beast token. Actually pretty simple as far as our cards go. You take an on-theme monster from your grave, strip it for parts, and boom, you've got a token. Thankfully, this is a soft once per turn, so one copy can't just spit out a whole fleet of these, but you can summon multiple Arrows Gwins to keep churning them out. And now, it's time for a fun fact! I always thought that this was meant to be part blimp, but it's actually meant to emulate an Aeroscraft, an experimental cargo ship that's capable of vertical takeoff and landing, letting it travel to virtually any location. Which is very funny considering penguins very much cannot work in every environment. Truly, this ship is a cruel joke on our Arctic friends. Mecha Phantom Beast Blue Impala is a level 3 tuner monster with 1400 attack and 1100 defense that can't be used as synchro material except for the summon of a machine monster, and the other material must be other Mecha Phantom Beast monsters either on your field or in your hand. And if your opponent controls a monster and you control no monsters, you can banish this card from your grave to special summon a Mecha Phantom Beast token. So if you want to get into synchros super quickly, Impala here has you covered, and while you can only make machines with it, you do have a lot of good options. If you have a level 4 Mecha Phantom Beast in your hand, you can make FA Dawn Dragster for a spell and trap negate. If you want some Karakuri crossover, you can make Bure, and it's hard to say no to Samurai Destroyer for its Armada's effect and amazing float. Did you know that this can actually summon itself without effect? It's kinda wild. And of course, there's the emergency token effect you get from the grave in case things go sour and you want to be a little stinker. A little Impala-ish, if you will. Mecha Phantom Beast Hamstrat is a level 3 monster with 1100 attack and 1600 defense, and when this card is flipped face up, special summon 2 Mecha Phantom Beast tokens. And you contribute a token, then target a Mecha Phantom Beast monster in your grave and special summon it. That's pretty sweet. You get enough to spend a single token on another Mecha Phantom Beast, but still have enough left over for whatever the second one needs. Or you can keep it around to boost your levels for Xyz summoning, whatever floats your ship. The token generating effect is pretty slow, and sadly, it does not work in a way that helps you out the most. If anything with 1700 or more attack goes into a face-down Hamstrat, the monster's destruction by battle will already have been determined before those tokens are made. So that protection comes just a little too late, but you still get the token, so that's pretty nice. However, if you already have a token, your Hamstrat is free to go. It's pretty nifty for slower formats, but from an aesthetic standpoint, I don't know, where are we drawing the line on these things? Are we really just gonna draw some whiskers on a Boeing and call it a day? Mecha Phantom Beast Stealth Ray is a level 3 monster with 100 attack and 2100 defense, and when this card inflicts battle damage to your opponent, special summon a Mecha Phantom Beast token. And once per turn, you contribute a token, then target a spell or trap card on the field and destroy it. So that's gotta be a joke, right? A monster with 100 attack doing battle damage is grounds for a negligence lawsuit. But the idea is that you set this and have your opponent run into it, and then out of nowhere, they've dealt themselves some damage. As long as they attacked in with something with 2000 or less, that is. And then you get a little token for your troubles. But even if this isn't going to be deploying tokens left and right, it is still a way to turn them into MSTs, which is still pretty underwhelming, especially this late in the game. Not a big recommendation, but damn do I love the design on this one. Stealth aircraft have always been some of my favorite, and seeing it combined with a Stingray is just such a good concept, and they executed on it very well, even if it does end up being a little under the radar. Mecha Phantom Beast Turtle Tracer is a level 3 monster with 500 attack and 2000 defense, and each turn, the first Mecha Phantom Beast token you control that would be destroyed by a battle is not destroyed. Yeah, it's just that simple. It doesn't make tokens, it doesn't eat tokens, it just provides a one-time battle shield for the first token each turn to get hit. It's support for your support. It's certainly not going to speed up your deck, but you know what they say about being slow and steady, right? Mecha Phantom Beast Black Falcon is a level 4 monster with 1200 attack and 1700 defense, and when this card declares an attack, you special summon a Mecha Phantom Beast token, and once per turn, during either player's turn, you contribute a token, then target a monster your opponent controls, and change that target to face-up defense position. While it doesn't have the best attack, that on-attack effect is pretty cool, especially because you make the token before you actually get to battle, so Black Falcon will have that battle destruction immunity because of the token. As for the token eating effect itself, it's just fine. I am pretty disappointed this doesn't actually flip the monster face down, as that would have made this card infinitely better in terms of being effective in eruption and not just a battle trick. I mean, it is based off the Lockheed 71 Blackbird, an advanced long-range strategic reconnaissance aircraft capable of Mach 3 at an altitude of 85,000 feet. You'd think it'd be better than that. Mecha Phantom Beast Coltwing is a level 4 monster with 1600 attack and 1500 defense, and when this card is special summon 2 Mecha Phantom Beast tokens, but you must control another Mecha Phantom Beast monster to activate and resolve this effect. And once per turn, you contribute 2 tokens to target a card your opponent controls to destroy that target, and if you do, banish it. So that means it has the strange bottomless trap hole formatting, so destruction protection will actually apply to whatever you hit with this. Very strange, but this was 2013, they were still ironing out all the kinks. While not as infamous as some of our other heavy hitters, Coltwing would still be seeing play in lists using our Link monster, since it could special summon this, and because that Link monster is on theme, that means you get 2 more tokens. And 2 machine monsters being special summoned at the same time means Deskbot 1 being summoned to the field for free. Yup, it was one of those decks. And, despite the less than optimal text, it's cool to have removal that still banishes if it resolves. Honestly, what baffles me the most is that they made a horse-based flying machine and somehow resisted the temptation to make it Pegasus-themed. Good on ya. Mecha Phantom Beast Harleyard is a level 4 monster with 1800 attack and 800 defense, and once per turn, when any monsters you control are attributed to activate a card or effect other than this card's, special summon a Mecha Phantom Beast token. And once per turn, you contribute a token to special summon a Mecha Phantom Beast monster from your hand. So this helps you get more value out of your tokens, essentially letting you use another monster's effect with a 1 token discount. Or, I guess, rebate would be a more accurate term. This can help keep you topped up on resources to make the most of your other effects, and if need be, turbos out a Mecha Phantom Beast from your hand should the need arise, which is especially helpful if you're looking to Harry-lard your opponent. Mecha Phantom Beast Mega Raptor is a level 4 monster with 1900 attack and 1000 defense, and when any number of tokens are special summoned to your side of the field, you can special summon a Mecha Phantom Beast token, and you contribute a token to add a Mecha Phantom Beast monster from your deck to your hand. So it's not exactly a Stratos, this requires a bit more setup, but turning spare tokens into searches is pretty neat, especially because every turn, this can get you an additional token when you make a token. And it did not forget to skip Jet Day, because coming down with a base 1900 attack is pretty scary. But with toe claws like that, I'm hardly surprised. Those things will split your belly open if you're not careful. Mecha Phantom Beast Raiten is a level 4 monster with 1500 attack and defense, and you can discard a card to special summon a Mecha Phantom Beast token. Also, you can only use Mecha Phantom Beasts as material for fusions, synchro, Xyz, or link summons for the rest of the turn. So you're not locked out of making anything, you can just only use Mecha Phantom Beasts for your extra deck summons, kinda like how Tri-Brigades work. This effect is also not once per turn, so you can keep making tokens as long as you have cards in hand to feed to it. This is another card I'd say to look out for, cause you never know when having that much material and a discard outlet are gonna come together to form something outrageous, even if the forecast for this right now is looking a little cloudy. Mecha Phantom Beast Saberhawk is a level 4 monster with 2100 attack and 100 defense that can't attack directly. If you have any monsters in your grave that are not Mecha Phantom Beasts, this card can't attack at all, and once per turn, you contribute a token to target a card in either graveyard and banish it. So we can use that effect to clear out our own grave of non-Mecha Phantom Beasts so this can roam free, but really, the big draw is getting to pick cards out of your opponent's grave. The attack restrictions feel pretty crummy, but hey, that's the price you pay for running the biggest bungler under level 5. The grave removal option is nice, but the design is pretty outdated. A little long in the tooth, you might say. Mecha Phantom Beast Tetherwolf is a level 4 monster with 1700 attack and 1200 defense, and if this card is normal summoned, you can special summon a Mecha Phantom Beast token. And once per battle, during the damage step, when this card battles an opponent's monster as a quick effect, you contribute a token to give this card an 800 attack boost until the end of the turn. This is another of the big monsters in our lineup in terms of meta viability. At first it was just a pretty aggressive monster, climbing up to 2500 in battle by trading a token contesting a lot of monsters. But today, this card's effect basically just reads summon a free link to. Because it's not exactly future-proofed, we can turn this card into anything that wants generics, machines, heck if it wants to affect monsters, we can just turn the token into Link Spider and keep on going. This also isn't once per turn, so the more ways you have to summon Tetherwolf, the more tokens you can get. On theme, it's nothing too much to write home about, but if your deck needs material quick, it does a lot to tie everything together. Mecha Phantom Beast Cal Griffin is a level 7 monster with 1000 attack and 2500 defense, and you contribute 2 Mecha Phantom Beast monsters to special summon this card from your hand. And once per turn, you can discard a Mecha Phantom Beast monster to special summon a Mecha Phantom Beast token. Now, this one doesn't have a level modulation effect, probably because their level is already pretty big. Being a semi-reliable source of tokens itself isn't terrible, and while the cost to summon it by its own effect is pretty steep, if you summon it out via Heliard, it's not that bad. Granted, though, it is a bit of a brick besides, so you'll want to run this with caution, especially since you'll be taking on the secret member of the Quahog clan, Cal Griffin. And you thought Fortnite was the only place getting the Family Guy crossovers. Alright, so that's all of our main deck monsters, now it's time to move on to the extra deck. Mecha Phantom Beast Kong Karuda is a level 7 synchro monster with 2400 attack and 1200 defense, requiring generic material. While on the field, tokens you control can't be destroyed by a battle or card effect, and if this card you control is destroyed by an opponent's card and sent to the grave, you contribute all tokens you control, then target a level 4 or lower Mecha Phantom Beast monster in your grave and special summon it. Not one for each token contributed, just one. We aren't exactly setting our best foot forward with this one, but it is an option to keep in your back pocket. What's cool here is that it protects your tokens with the same protection that our paper monsters get from those tokens, adding an extra layer of resiliency. Sadly though, since only Dracosat gets the usual protection out of all of our extra deck monsters, Konkaruda doesn't create a vacuum seal of protection, but is one more layer your opponent will have to chew through, and once they do get rid of it, you can opt to trade in all of those tokens for something like Colt Wing if you have another Mecha Phantom Beast remaining, or grab some other utility piece. Either way, I'm gonna be totally confused. If this was a cargo ship, that'd be one thing, but the Concorde is a passenger jet. How'd they fit those machines in there? Mecha Phantom Beast Jakuluslin is a level 9 synchro monster with 2700 attack and 2000 defense, requiring a Mecha Phantom Beast tuner and one or more non-tuner Mecha Phantom Beast monsters as material. When this card is synchro summoned, you contribute Mecha Phantom Beast tokens up to the number of cards in your opponent's hand to discard random cards from your opponent's hand equal to the number of tributed monsters. Other Mecha Phantom Beast monsters you control can't be destroyed by a battle or card effect, and if this card in its owner's control is destroyed by your opponent, you can set a quick play spell card directly from your deck. This is an interesting monster, and I'm not sure how I feel about it. The big reason to actually summon this is to get that hand rip effect, which is a little out of place, but we'll come back to that in just a bit. Discarding is one of the worst ways to attack your opponent's hand, but attack it does. The blanket protection is also pretty cool, extending to your regular monsters as well as the tokens, which is good because you probably consumed a lot of them for its on-summon effect. Though sadly, it still doesn't protect itself, with or without those tokens. And while you can't activate the quick play spell you set the turn it gets set, you do still get any card out of one of the strongest card types in our entire pool. Heck, you might just be running some staples under that designation anyway. But then there's problems. Blue Impala would be perfect for making this if we had a level 6 Mecha Phantom Beast we could use from hand. See, we want to fill as many of our zones with tokens as possible so we can tribute them for our monster's hand rip effect. And as a tuner that can use material in hand, Blue Impala is positioned to be one of the best ways to summon Jakuluslin, but we just don't have that kind of infrastructure right now. Currently, the best ways to make this are by having an O-Lion sync with a level 4, while you have a token to make that 4 a level 7, or use Blue Impala to sync with a level 3 that's on your board, that's also being boosted by a token. But that completely defeats the purpose of running Impala. Honestly, this is a pretty good card, but it's hampered by some material that just doesn't fit together well. But I did learn something new out of all of this. See, the extra deck monsters are supposed to be legendary creatures, but I never really knew what this one was supposed to be until now. It's a Jaculus! Yeah, that's not really doing anything for me either. Let's just go on to the next one. Mecha Phantom Beast Dracosac is a rank 7 Xyz monster with 2600 attack and 2200 defense, requiring any 2 level 7 monsters as material. Once per turn, you can detach a material from this card to special summon 2 Mecha Phantom Beast tokens, and once per turn, you can tribute a Mecha Phantom Beast monster, then target a card on the field and destroy that target. But this card can't attack the turn you activate this effect. And it also has the protection effect for having a token. Now, this card is a menace, no doubt about it, especially back in the day. The interesting thing is that this is a perfectly serviceable card in the deck proper. You just need to get out 2 level 4s and have a token on board, and that's 2 level 7 monsters. Tetherwolf can handle that. And it even made you more tokens to work with. But you'll notice that it wasn't Mecha Phantom Beast decks running the top tables when this came out. As if they recognized its draconic aura, Dragon Rulers picked this card up and ran with it. Turns out the strategy that churns out level 7 monsters like it's nobody's business gets better when you can turn those monsters into removal that protects itself. This card was out there demanding triple-digit asking prices, and you're probably getting more than one of them. I mean, what happens if your opponent uses Big Eye to take the first one? It's even seen niche play in some more modern builds, using the token generating effect to link into Burning Abyss Cherubini of all things. This is one for the history books, no doubt about it, but I'm just stuck wondering why a tuner is hooked up to an Xyz monster. I mean, outside the real world references going on here. Seriously though, go through the trivia pages on these cards when you have some free time. These cards are actually fascinating. Okay, I know I don't usually cover off-theme stuff, but you'll look at it and you'll know why we have to cover it here. Phantom Fortress Enter Blatnir is a rank 9 Xyz monster with 2900 attack and 2500 defense, and once per turn you can detach a material from this card to banish one of either 4 categories of cards. A card your opponent controls, a random card in their hand, a card from their graveyard, or the top card of their deck, face up. So, yeah, see, there's Mecha Phantom Beasts all over this ding-darn thing. Strange that it's not name-dropped, but this is the headquarters of our Phantom Flyers regardless. If we get 2 level 3 monsters on board with 2 tokens, they get big enough to make this, and they can do some serious damage. But like Dracosac, it's a very popular choice in off-theme decks. We had a boom a few years back with level 9 monsters, and they make this card very easily. And guess what it was used for? Hand ripping! And banishing does a great job of avoiding any card triggers or setting up your opponent's graveyard. Heck, we even have a native level 9 to use as material, Jakuluslin. You can hand rip with it, then overlay to Enter Blatnir to continue the trend. Ain't that something? It also has utility as a way to hit cards in almost every zone, and has a pretty good stat line besides. Just make sure you don't use it carelessly. You wouldn't want to use up all your gas for just a single piece of removal, because that might cause your plans to skid to a halt. That joke goes out to all of my Norse mythology and Code Lyoko fans out there. Thank you, thank you. Mecha Phantom Beast Auroradon is a Link 3 monster with 2100 attack, requiring 2 or more machine monsters as material. If this card is Link summoned, you can activate this effect, summoning 3 Mecha Phantom Beast tokens, but you can't Link summon for the rest of the turn. And once per turn, you can tribute up to 3 monsters that apply one of these effects, based on the number of monsters tributed. For 1, you destroy a card on the field. For 2, you special summon a Mecha Phantom Beast monster from your deck. And for 3, you can add a trap card from your grave to your hand. God, this card was a menace, and now I think I need to explain why this and a few other cards slotted together to make the perfect combo storm. See, with just a single Deskbot 3, you can summon Deskbot 1 from your deck, which is a tuner, meaning you could make a 1-card Halka Fibrax off of it. Bring it out, and you would summon O-Line directly from your deck. And wouldn't you know it, that's 3 Link materials worth of machine monsters, so now you have Auroradon and 4 tokens. 1 from the O-Line, and 3 from Auroradon itself. And because that summoned 3 tokens at once, that means you get your Deskbot 1 out of your graveyard. From there, you can sync off Deskbot 1 plus some other tokens. Then at some point in the future, you could use the Tribute 2 effect of the Auroradon, usually itself and another token, to special summon Coltwing from your deck. And if you had another Mecha Phantom Beast left over, that was 2 more tokens you would get, which means you got to summon Deskbot 1 from the grave again! So many cards fit together to give you this wealth of material to do almost anything with that it's no wonder why Auroradon and Halka Fibrax are now both banned. Which is a big shame because 3 tokens is a lot to work with and could have opened up a lot of easier ways to access our effects and bigger extra deck monsters. Now, it's just taking up space in the Orbital Platforms hangar. Despot 1's been trying to get it back online ever since. I think he misses the thrill of absolute power, and honestly, I don't blame the little guy. Alright, that about does it for our monsters. Now it's time for the spells and traps. Vertical Landing is a quick play spell card that has you attributing any number of wind monsters, except tokens, to special summon an equal number of Mecha Phantom Beast tokens. Converting your Mecha Phantom Beasts into tokens can give you a bit more control over your levels, and even drop one on board in response to some kind of destruction effect to keep your monsters safe. And as we've learned from a lot of cards like this, we can use it to help dodge targeted negation. If your opponent tried to use Effect Veiler to stop your Tether Wolf from getting you a token, then just use Vertical Landing on it and you still get that effect. It also has some nice utility when splashing in other themes. As long as they're wind, you can convert them into tokens whenever the need arises. It's basically a microcosm of the deck. Vertical Landing really is a good vertical slice of the deck. Scramble! Scramble! Is a quick play spell card that you can activate if your opponent's monsters on the field outnumber your non-token monsters on the field. You attribute any number of Mecha Phantom Beast tokens to special summon an equal number of Mecha Phantom Beast monsters from your deck, but shuffle them into the deck during the end phase. This is actually really good. Just by attributing 2, you can get anything like Colt Wing and, well, any other Mecha Phantom Beast and just go to town. And you'll more than likely be able to link off whatever's left over so you don't have to give it up. Heck, this works very well with Vertical Landing, letting you turn your non-tokens into tokens, changing the count so you can activate Scramble to trade them in for more monsters. It's a really sweet addition to the team, and is what you can expect me to be asking for during breakfast, at least when eggs are involved. Sonic Boom is a normal trap card that, during your turn, targets a Mecha Phantom Beast monster on the field, and this turn, its attack becomes double its original attack, is unaffected by other spell and trap effects, and deals piercing battle damage. And if this effect is applied, you destroy all machine-type monsters you control during the end phase of this turn. Also, other monsters can't attack during the turn you activate this card. This one is pretty rough. Imagine if you condensed limiter removal down to a single card, but kept all the drawbacks. It certainly helps with avoiding spell and trap interaction, and your opponent can't hide behind a defense position monster, so it does have its upsides, and because of how our monsters defend themselves, if we have tokens on board, we'll actually only lose the tokens during the end phase. But, like, at that point I'd rather just play limiter removal. You get more attacks with more monsters, and we can punch through the defenses enough by just destroying their monsters. It does have its utility, but don't go fooling yourself, it's nowhere near the level of the 90s bluest, blurriest mascot. Do a Barrel Roll is a counter trap card that you can activate in response to the activation of a spell card, trap card, or monster effect. You attribute all Mecha Phantom Beast tokens you control to negate the activation, and if you do, destroy it. Damn, why are there so many cards asking us to cash in all of our tokens like this? I don't even care about the Star Fox reference at this point, just play Solemn Judgment at this point, it's at 3! Golly! Aerial Recharge is a continuous trap card that, once per turn, lets you special summon a Mecha Phantom Beast token, but during each player's end phase, you have to attribute a token or a Mecha Phantom Beast monster, or send this card to the grave. I like where they're going with this one. You get to refuel your other monsters, but you have to make sure you keep enough fuel in the tank or else your big refueling platform will go bust. This plays well with cards like Harleyard, which will gift you back a token for you when you tribute one, letting you pay for an effect while keeping your tax on board, as well as the Mega Raptor pictured in the card itself, getting us a token when we special summon a token. Basically, if you find a way to cheat in free tokens, this card is great for keeping your effects online. Kinda takes the magic out of it though, knowing that they have to literally refuel like real planes. I just thought they were all powered by funky ghost stuff. Alright, so that's all the Mecha Phantom Beast cards, but what do we do with them? Well, the game plan doesn't seem to be very clear. We do generate tokens to accomplish things, but we're sitting on a jack-of-all-trades style deck. We have removal, recursion, synchro summoning, Xyz summoning, link summoning, level modulation, battle tricks, all that good stuff. But we sure as heck don't have any way to do it well. So the trick will be honing in on some of our better aspects and trying to flesh them out as best we can with support cards. So what can we play to help them out? First, let's see what being a token deck gives us access to. One that I think is very funny and might be a secret Mecha Phantom Beast is Bellcat Fighter. It's a pretty expensive summon, you have to use 3, there's no way to cheat a smaller amount, but getting a free 2k token when you beat something up in battle is pretty sweet. Duck Fighter is also another honorary card for the theme, letting you trade out tokens whose total levels equal 3 or more to summon this from your hand or grave, giving you a physical monster that you can use for Xyz summoning. We can actually make some good use of Ringo Worm. None of our on-theme synchro monsters can use it, mind you. We don't have any good level 5 configurations for Conqueruda, and it just can't be used for Jekuluslin. But for any off-theme monster, it's a free tuner once you have a token, and becomes another token that can also be a tuner. Something of note is that with a few exceptions and the level modulation effect, our monsters only care about having a token on board, not necessarily an on-theme one, so generating random tokens has some utility. Fiend Sanctuary is just a neat little goobus. Rite of Aramis here opens up the whole adventure engine, and that has a pretty prominent token, plus Dracobat can be equipped to our tokens for the bounce. You can play Scapegoat, which is pretty cool, and we have a plethora of token cards. Sunday is some cool mass card removal, and Token Stampede not only lets our tokens swing in for actual damage, it also keeps them from being destroyed by battle, taking away one of our opponent's means of getting through our shields. Seed Spitting Saplings is interesting because it gives us summon negation. Tribute a token, and there you go, that's one less inherent summon you have to worry about. And thank goodness, because I do not think we're ever going to get that snack token into play unless we target it with our own card. How about some wind support? Gen X Ally Birdman is pretty nifty for recycling our monsters, and it'll get that sweet 500 attack boost. Summon Storm is a great way to get Mecha Phantom Beasts out of our hand, and with the recent unbanning of Tempest, well, it worked well enough for Dracosac before, why not with us? There's also two wind-centric archetypes that are worth mentioning here. Wind Witches give us some great card advantage, but does lock us out of Dracosac when we use some of their effects, so you may not want to make use of them if that's your goal. Another that's a bit more flexible is Speedroids, even down to the fact that they are also wind machines. Going over all the synergies would balloon this video something fierce, so I'll just bring up the recently semi-limited Terror Top, just a fantastic card overall, and Takedomborg, which can be special summoned from your hand if you control any wind monster, and can turn into any Speedroid tuner, making it a very flexible enabler. As for a silly tech pick, we can actually take advantage of our high levels with Strike of the Monarchs. It requires us to tribute a normal summoned or sent monster that's level 5 or higher, but with a Mecha Phantom Beast token on board, all the ones that level modulate fall under that requirement. This gives us a quick negation and a little draw to go along with it. Alright, that's all the info I have on Mecha Phantom Beasts, but how does it stack up against the Nova scale? Novelty. I can safely say that there has never been another deck like Mecha Phantom Beasts. While the game at large has embraced tokens more than its early days, none have had summoning them en masse as integral to their game plan as this, fulfilling a number of different roles and purposes, from protection to enabling extra deck summons. So Mecha Phantom Beasts get a 5 in Novelty. Objectivity. This is wild because while the deck itself has never been quite that powerful, it's been at the center of a number of different busted combo lines. This is largely a byproduct of tokens working very well with the Link mechanic and a lack of future-proofing. But we can't give them too much credit because then they proceeded to make a Link Mecha Phantom Beast monster that makes a ton of tokens, so they knew what they were doing. Halqifibrax may be gone, but it's only a matter of time before our old mainstays rear their ugly heads once again. So Mecha Phantom Beasts get a 4 in Objectivity. Versatility. In regards to our currently available monsters, Tetherwolf and O-Line still have a lot of utility and a lot of decks, generating free tokens to use for whatever you want. As for the rest of our deck, it doesn't really play well with the rest of the game's card pool. They need tokens to work a lot of the time, and while there are several themes that make tokens, they aren't going to be giving us the same level modulation, nor are they going to work with our higher end Mecha Phantom Beasts. It also doesn't help that wind is one of the least supported attributes in the game, or is now probably the least supported after the Year of Fire. We have some overlap with machines in general, but not enough to encourage a competent hybrid deck, so Mecha Phantom Beasts get a 2 in Versatility. Awesomeness. Honestly, this deck is so cool. You're playing as giant aircrafts that have ghosts running decoy for them, fueling their abilities and growing to the size of massive sky beasts. And honestly, it scaled pretty well with the game itself. Tokens are no longer as maligned as they once were, and now you have a lot of options on how to utilize them. It's sad that the deck's best card has been relegated to the Great Beyond because of synchro piles, but it's still got plenty of gas in the tank. So Mecha Phantom Beasts get a 5 in Awesomeness, meaning the deck gets a 16 on the Nova scale. And that's all I have to say about Mecha Phantom Beasts. This was a bit of a treat, not gonna lie. I had always just seen this deck as the token one for a while, and didn't really understand all the stuff that was going on under the hood until now. It may not excel at anything, but toolbox style decks like this always resonate with me, because you're never a draw away from a card that can potentially turn the game on its head, especially with the kind of boss monsters we run with. So go forth, spread your wings, and oh god, I forgot to mention anything about regular Phantom Beasts! Crosswings gives all your monsters a persistent 300 attack bonus while in the grave, so your tokens can Today's episode is brought to you by my lovely patrons, as well as the wonderful people over at Dragon Shield. Get the sleeves as strong as dragon scales and save 5% on your order by using coupon code GoldenNova at checkout. Today's episode was also brought to you by my lovely patrons, including this month's illustrious Quasar Commanders Frankie and Marluxia as a girl, Nebula Navigators 3rd Dynasty, Ada Basilisk, Adam Zajdel, Andrew Newman, Kane Senpai, Chibi Gohan, Christopher Fuss, Clockswork, Dark Dragon X830, Emily Chan, Eric, Aaron the World Breaker, Garland Chaos, Genesis Yu-Gi-Oh!, Green Knight, Great Big Pillock, Hairbear, Harry the Ominous Benefactor, Howling Zangetsu, Hydrocraft 135, Iron Zero, Iskander 711, Mana Charge, Marion James E. Picata, Mega Combi, Millennia Asta, Muzuki Clark, Nathan Vig, Natiel Lee Alexander, Orozco 09096, Panther J, Rebel King Lucifer, Red Eyes Jackalow, RJ the Jank Monarch, Sammy Haim, Serenity Towns, Sir Knight JCB, Sim Antares, The Wizard Moose, URTV 667 and Xander Wolfensberger, Cosmic Crusaders Alpha Sly, Almento 5010, A Random Pup, Ariel Kersey, Beluga Masta, Blitzwolf, Blue Gem, Borger with a Shotgun, Chaz Ghost, Corbinisms, Danny Bound, Dr. Reaper RIP, Drachenwald, Eki Bullock, Eva Padilla, Hike Boyagian, Herbal D, Inblink, Jester Designs, Kale the Dragon, Carp, Kevon Public, King Scarlet Yu-Gi-Oh!, Lemon Yu-Gi-Oh!, Lord Whoop-De-Doo, Manga Pages, Matt Simmons, Mick Spoofy, Michael Shimabukuro, Mustafa Aiden, Nitromo, Shizuki Nijimura, Sophie, apparently, Stephen Williamson, Taylor Seymour, the legendary Raven, and Zaldreka, as well as the lovely Starlight Explorers you see on screen now. If you'd like to help me in my journey to cover all of Yu-Gi-Oh's archetypes, get my videos early, be a part of these credits, and many other awesome perks, it would mean the world to me if you checked out the link to my Patreon in the description or consider joining as a YouTube member. And if you'd like to hear me talk about another deck that loves its tokens, check out this video covering Sword Soul. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.